Hey everyone, it's Jenna Melanson from Canadian Beats Media. Today I'm joined by James from the Vancouver-based band Rare Americans for our Ottawa Dragon Boat Festival edition of Zoomies. Welcome, James.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So first off, care to introduce the band more in depth for our listeners?
More in depth, sure. Yeah, we're Rare Americans. We started in 2018. We've put out five albums, a whole bunch of animated music videos. We've kind of become known for our story-driven, kind of almost like little short film music videos on YouTube. And yeah, we've toured all over the world. We've played in 10 or 15 different countries, and yeah, we keep trying new projects and new fun things. So
Okay, awesome. So tell us a bit about your most recent release.
well, we're actually in the midst right now of we're releasing a lot of music. We had over the last couple of years, we had written and recorded over 50 songs. So we decided, instead of trying to take votes around the table of what song comes out and which doesn't, why don't we just put them all out? So we're trying something totally different this time around. Instead of putting out one single and working it for 2, 3 months, we decided let's try to put out a song every single week. So we're moving at a fast and furious pace. And I think this is coming this Friday is song number 9. So it's been really cool to see kind of the fans' reception to a bunch of different types of songs as well. But I guess our last full music video came out a couple of weeks ago. It was called Stupid Heart.
Mhm.
And that has a full animated music video, which I think has a cool little cute story. And seems like people are digging the track. So that's awesome.
Okay. So what excites you most about performing at the Tim Hortons Ottawa Dragon Boat Festival?
Well, we played a show in Ottawa, maybe it was a year and a half ago or something. And it was super fun. It was our first show in Ottawa. It was a sold out show. It was a great audience. It's always fun to play in Canada, in our home country. And so this is our first time back since then. So I'm hoping we see a bunch of Rare Americans fans out, and I think it's going to be a whole lot hotter this time. I looked at the weather forecast, and it seems like there's a heat wave there. So I think this time we're gonna have to rock. I don't know if it's swim trunks or shorts and t-shirt or something, but yeah,
Might
it's
have
gonna be
to.
gonna be a sweaty one for sure.
Yeah. Um, how important is it for you to play at festivals like the Dragon Boat Festival, who promote Canadian music exclusively?
Yeah, that's totally awesome. In an ever increasing global music industry where everybody's feeds are getting inundated with artists from all over the world, it's cool that that they're giving Canadian artists a shot to reach more people. And I think something like the Dragon Boat Festival will probably bring a lot of people who have never heard of us before. So I imagine that it'll be a great opportunity to just to play for a bunch of people who have probably never heard or listened to a Rare American song before.
Mhm. How do you engage with a festival audience as opposed to a regular venue show?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, they're totally different experiences. It's like I think that you got to try to be warm and engaging to the audience, and I like to banter a little bit. I think it's important that people kind of learn, who you are and who your band is, opposed to just playing a song, going into the next one, going into the next one. I think having perspective or a little bit of storytelling helps people, understand, what you're doing and why you're doing it. But you can't focus too much on that. At the end of the day, it's I always look to the fans that are in the audience as well. And I as much as we want to do well for new people, I want to put on a great show for our own existing fans, more than anything. Because they're the ones who have spent time listening to us, and we've developed a relationship with one another. So oftentimes I'm always looking to the people in the audience who are singing our songs, and
Mhm.
just trying to give them our best.
For sure. Are there any specific acts you want to check out while you're at the festival?
Well, the Bluestones, I've heard their songs on alternative radio for a long time. So it'll be cool to see them in the flesh. And I think they're only a two-piece, so and they have a big sound on radio. So curious to see them and maybe meet them as well.
So the next 5 questions are just for fun. What was the first festival you ever attended as a fan?
That's a good question. Probably like I grew up in Edmonton, and probably like the Edmonton Folk Fest. I remember seeing like the Weaker Thans, who are a band from Winnipeg, Canadian, kind of legends. And I remember just absolutely loving it. It was a fairly small stage and had, Folk Fest goers are also very passionate people. They love the Folk Fest every year, and it's such a cool environment.
Mm-hmm. What's one thing that you must bring with you to every festival?
Oh man, my in-ear monitors.
Hey.
'Cause if I don't have those, I'm doomed.
What's your favorite food or beverage to treat yourself when you're at a festival?
Oh, I'm always the guy who's like, if you go back to the green room, there's probably going to be like, trays of fruit and stuff like that. But I'm always the guy who's like scouring the local grounds to see the local food trucks. And, I'm probably doing 3 or 4 laps before I make my selection. So I feel like at every festival, I end up doing that. And I always walk away with something delicious.
Okay. If you were able to build your own festival lineup featuring Rare Americans plus 3 other Canadian headliners, who would you choose?
Oh man, tough one. Probably like Tegan and Sarah. Um, the Weaker Thans, who I mentioned, they're probably one of my favorite Canadian bands. And let's see. I really liked growing up Tokyo Police Club, who are they're now I think just kind of finishing up their
Hmm.
their career, but I really liked those guys growing up.
Okay. And last but not least, if you were asked to perform one cover song by a fellow Canadian, which would you choose?
Wow, I can't believe how many shout outs I'm gonna give to this band, but we actually played a Weaker Than song on it was Edmonton Sonic Radio. They did a cover session and we played One Great City by the Weaker Thans or by John K. Sampson, their songwriter. So yeah, I didn't think I was gonna give the Weaker Thans 3 shout outs, but there you go. They're legends and I love them. So
That's awesome. So that's it for Zoomies. Thank you for joining me and have a blast at Dragon Boat.
okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.